Alrighty guys, welcome back to another one. So, we were at the range, me, Josh, and Jaren, yesterday actually. Today is August 9th, for those of you wondering. Anyway, we fired a 20 pellet single aught load out of the 10 gauge at 42 yards like usual. We were using the lead sled at a 12 by 12 foot by foot piece of cardboard paper that was originally a yard sign. We took the sign off, put cardboard on. It was 12 by 12. Anyway, we had 15 of the 20 land on the cardboard at 42 yards, and the pattern that was on the cardboard was very tight. We used my Browning BPS. It's got a 28-inch barrel, and the choke we were using was a extended 720 diameter, just a regular choke that came with the 23-inch turkey barrel H&R guns. I don't know who made it, but it's a 720 and it is an extended choke. If we shot at the regular patterning board we used, we certainly would have had all 20, and I'm going to guess a 15 by 15. The wad we were using, first time ever using one of these, is the Precision Reloading TUPRW 1035. This wad is, it's sturdy, guys. If you ever mess with the TPS wads, well, I hope you can see this, but the Precision Reloading wad, the pedals on it are like twice as thick as the TPS. Actually, I'll measure that for you. Let me find my calipers. They are right here. The Precision Reloading wad is, probably need to set this to millimeters, 1.7 millimeters in terms of, wad thickness. On the TPS, we have 1 millimeter. Let me get that again. I'll show you guys on the calipers what it's actually saying. This one actually says 1.6. Yeah, 1.6, but it was showing 1.7 on a different section. And the TPS is showing 1.0. So, the Precision Reloading wad is way sturdier, way more thick than the TPS. Listen to this. That is some tough plastic, guys. Makes for great patterns, though. However, there is a downside. These wads will not hold any pellet stacked by twos bigger than 31 caliber. Now, if you're using a TPS wad, you can get 33 and 34 cal by twos in one of those, no problem whatsoever. These will not fit anything bigger than 31. I have tried 32, it just won't stack unless you use more than 1/4 inch of cushion wad in the bottom of it to get past the tapered bottom of this wad. The inside of these wads is concave. But yeah, 32 cal won't fit unless you use about 3/8 inch of cushion wad. But doing that reduces your capacity, so 31 cal it is. So let's see how tall these wads are. I think the TPS may be a fuzz taller. This is 57 millimeters on the dot. The TPS, again, I believe it's a little bit taller. I have not measured them yet. Yeah, this is 58 millimeters. It's just 1 millimeter bigger. Taller, I should say. But, yep, this wad does not have the capacity of a TPS, which is okay. These pattern amazing, as does the TPS. This is my favorite wad for any gauge. It's just great. And again, this is the Precision Reloading TUPRW 1035 Tupperware. Is what everybody refers to it as, and 10 for 10 gauge, 35 for 3.5 inch. So for the haul, this is a once fired Federal Speed Shock number T shot, 1.5 ounce, 1450 FPS, 3.5 inch, which is 89 millimeters. And these were sent by a friend of mine, and he sent a massive box of these, like hundreds, along with hundreds of brand new unprimed 3.5 inch 12 gauge holes. Anyway, we got to resize and deprime this. So, I'm using a mech resize ring. And on top of the resize ring, I'm using a piece of PVC pipe. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches tall and just big enough around to fit over a 10 gauge hole. You need that because the Lee Loadall cannot resize 3.5 inch holes unless you buy, say for a 12 gauge 3.5, you need to buy 2 resize rings or a PVC pipe. But it just can't do it without a spare ring or the PVC pipe is what I was trying to say. Get this on here. Resized. See, we are resized. So to get this ring back off here, you're going to have to take out the spring for the primer punch, the primer seating punch, and the primer seating punch. And that's because these federal holes have really tall brass on them. The Lee Lodahl cannot get the rings off of holes with really tall brass. You know, normal high brass, yeah, it'll do that fine, but stuff like Remington high brass holes or these Federals or anything really, it just can't do it. So you gotta take these pieces out, and then you can get the brass off the ring. Oh, guys, I forgot that I had this wad guide here. You may be able to see this hole. I have moved the wad guide up a ½ inch from its original location to be able to seat wads for 3½ inch. I'll have to move over to this press to actually get this ring off. I forgot I have that, you know, mounted on there. I loaded up 30 3½ inch 10 gauge shells for a well, we'll be doing a review of the Browning BPS and the Mossberg 835 here soon. So I loaded up a bunch of 10 gauge, and that made the process a lot faster. I forgot to remove it for this video though. But we have the ring off. And I know, just buy a mech, but I like Lee Lodahls. I can load 8 different gauges on 2 presses. I don't have room for, I think it would be 12 different mechs for all the gauges and shell lengths I load. It's just easier to have 2 Lee Lodahls that can do everything. Anyway, to deprime this, I have a bolt-on depriming punch. Primer is out, and that is just to deprime 3½ inch holes. Again, the Lee Lodahl cannot resize or deprime 3½ inch holes normally. If you don't have one of these, and I know probably not a lot of people do, just get a hammer and a long nail or a punch. Set your hull over anything hollow. The punch goes on top of the primer inside the hull, and just knock it out with a hammer. It's really easy to do, but to reprime, well, you can use the Lee Lodahl for that. Just using a Federal 209A primer here. Got to get these pieces back in the press. They are back in. Apologize if you can't see me, but we are deprimed. If that wad guide wasn't on here, I'd be able to use this press for everything. But that's okay. I'll remember next time, won't I? So, moving on from that, we need, let me actually get these back in here, 32 grains of Longshot powder. Longshot doesn't take up much room in the hull at all. And this is going to be a 2 1/8 ounce load with buffer. 32 grains of Longshot will push that with this wad over 1200 FPS, which is perfect. We have our 32 grains, double check it. Yep, 32. Now, we chronoed this load whenever I fired it, and we got 1236 FPS, which is plenty. Let's see, this wad is pre-slit. I don't think that Precision Reloading sells these unslit, but they might. If they do, let me know in the comments. But yeah, these are pre-slit. Looks like a roughly 3/4 cut, 4 pedals, which is actually my preferred. You know, slit depth and pedal count. Wad is in there most of the way anyway. But we are over the powder. We still have a little bit of room left below the crimp, but it is time to get the cushion wad in there. We need 1/8 inch of 20 gauge fiber cushion, about this much of it, about 1/8 of an inch. Drop that in there. I'm going to use Gary Caskey's wad tamper to get that seated in there and flat. We have it. Now this is optional, but what I do whenever I load Buckshot loads with steel shot wads, I like to use a Mylar wrap inside of them, and we have had great success doing this. It actually really improves patterns. Just drop that right in there. You roll it up, insert it into your wad, and I know you can't see it, but it is in there. And well, we just really like putting the Mylar wrap in there. It seems to really help with patterns. Now we need 20 pellets of 31 caliber single-aught buck. This is my tumbled and polished, really hard cast 31 cal. They stack by twos beautifully. You might have to help the first 2 layers along a little bit. Again, guys, this wad is thick, so make sure you get those in there even. If you don't get the first layer in there even, well, the rest of the layers are not going in even at all. So in terms of lead payload weight, we have 2.08, which is just a hair below 2 1/8 ounces. Right now it's sitting just a scotch above 2 1/16, which is 2.06. This is 2.08. With buffer, it's going to be a 2 1/8 ounce load. And again, this is 20 pellets of 31 caliber single aught, and all of these pellets, please don't move in the hall, it moved, are inside the wad. And this time, guys, I'm using Ballistic Products mix number 47 buffer. This is going to take about 2 1/2 scoops of it, which will bring the payload weight up to 2 1/8 ounces. We have the top row of pellets, mostly covered, and that's all you need. If you guys are using the TPS or the BPD 10 wads, I have used the exact same data for those, and no problems at all. They pattern good too, but this one really surprised me. We are now ready to crimp this. This has a 6-point crimp, so back station of the reload all. You want a point of the crimp facing you. Beautiful. And yeah, that's still 12 gauge. This press is converted to 10 gauge. Final crimp it. I do multiple pulls down. Just gives me a better overall crimp, and that right there, not looking too bad at all. But we can pretty that up using the GOP roll crimp tool. It's a BN2 specifically. I would show you on camera, but my bar is just so covered in tools right now, it'd be a nightmare trying to show it. So I'm just going to do that off camera. Sorry, guys. So here it is post beautification. As you can see, it's got a nice taper on it. Again, that's a GOP BN2. Here's what the crimp looks like now. One pedal is caved in just a little bit, but that's because it was buckshot. If you're loading birdshot, you won't have that. I'm trying to show you here. There you go, you can see it. But there is no hole. It is completely sealed up, and it almost looks like a factory shell. Absolutely beautiful. You can clean up these marks on the brass with 4/0 steel wool. It'll shine it right up. That's from the resize ring. So more about this press. If you just want to load 10 gauge, target loads or something to have fun with at the range, you can absolutely fill this with shot and powder. The press does come with bushings for shot and powder. The most you can do with it is 1 7/8, but for a target load or just something to plink with, 1 1/4 is really all you need in 10 gauge. You can do less, but I typically do 1 1/4 if I'm just loading shells to have fun with. But yeah, you can set this for shot and powder, and obviously we have a wad guide here. The only thing it can't do with the wad guide set up on it is reprime your hull. It can't do that, or it can't kick the ring off too. I forgot about that. But this is a 10 gauge press. If you get rid of the wad guide, this will do everything, and you can just set your hull. Do I have an empty hull here? Yeah. You can just put your hull up inside the tube, again, if this wad guide button here, and drop your powder and shot that way, no problem. But yeah, 10 gauge conversion, cool. Just realized I forgot to show this. We do not have any bulging of the hull anywhere. There's good lighting, yeah. No bulging anywhere. 31 cal inside that wad fits perfect. Again, I could not get 32 cal to fit, so there's that. Anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it for me. Please like and subscribe. We always appreciate that. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below, and we'll get back to you. If you want to, go check out our Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month. You get early access to content. Every penny we get goes right back into the channel. A link to that will be in the description below, along with a link to our Instagram and our Rumble accounts. Other than that, you guys take it easy, and we'll see you in the next one.